Hey, now it's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting.
Hey guys, it's me, Steve, web contributor to 1061 evansville.com.
We're showing off once again that we are easily the best dressed podcast on the internet. Welcome to today's show where we review the Raw from last night. Last night being, of course, July 11th?
Yes.
Yeah, so the July 11th Raw. I really feel like they are not giving us much to talk about. I feel like this is that really terrible time that I think is just to blame on the draft that's upcoming.
Yep.
And they're really just trying to just keep us content, just give them a bunch of crap until the draft begins, because that's when we're doing a soft reset, so to speak, on everything. They don't want to start any angles, and they don't really want to screw anything up, I guess, before this draft, which is reminding me that this pay-per-view, outside of the main event, they don't have much going on with it, right? A Battleground, I thought, was actually coming up this coming Sunday, and then I realized they were talking about it. It's 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just nothing here, I feel like. This is a very empty show, but we'll talk about that next week, I guess, a little bit more. Let's focus on Raw last night.
Okay.
I took some notes, Steve. I don't know if you had much to talk about. In the opening contest, the Battle Royal, I thought that was cool, seeing a Battle Royal for the number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. But you want to guess what stood out to me most last night about that match?
Was it Bob Backlund standing outside the ring?
Well, in the house, yes. Okay, so I've been giving this angle, I feel, a fair shake. A lot of people have been writing it off, and I've been at least reviewing it every week.
Okay.
Usually negatively, but I've been giving it an honest shake, in my opinion. I'm happy he was there. It makes no sense Skyping or whatever they're doing with Bob Backlund for Darren Young. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And then him being there, combined with the win for Darren Young, makes me feel like this is going somewhere, finally.
Yeah, I mean, it's going somewhere from nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. It had nowhere but up to go, but I feel like it took a big giant step forward last night.
Yeah, it was kind of weird to me. It was almost like unceremoniously, here's Darren Young. And this crowd of people.
Well, I did not expect him to win last night, I'll give you that. And he did win, so I feel like if Bob Backlund is what was the difference maker for him last night, I'm for it. It's better than nothing. Yeah. And for a while, it hasn't been better than nothing. It's been worse than nothing. And now I feel like it may be moving into the better than nothing category. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I'm at least interested to see how it unfolds now that they're physically together.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility now to see Darren Young as Intercontinental Champion. I'm assuming, is it the pay-per-view where he's fighting him?
Yes.
Or is it next week? Or okay, yeah. So
Battleground.
To me, at this point, it's become feasible.
Yeah.
Whereas in any point in Darren Young's history, it has not been feasible for him to be IC champion, right?
Correct.
So there's that. I realized last night that I kind of like Breezango.
Okay.
Your thoughts there? Okay? They're very Zoolander, goofy.
Yeah.
They're kind of funny in a sincere way that I kind of am in favor of them. What do you think? Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. I'd kind of like to see. I do like the humor. I'd like to see them get a little more serious. They fit together well. The chemistry is there.
Yeah.
So they could be a great tag team.
Their best example of their comedy, I feel like, was with the Golden Truth, leading up to the tanning bed stuff.
Yeah.
But they're making me laugh kind of consistently, so good for them.
Yep.
What else do I have? I also like, in the same way that Backlund and Young is picking up steam, Owens and Zayn, while it's not there yet, is really picking up steam. It's going somewhere now.
Yeah, see, I disagree with you there. But
okay, let's talk about it, because we've been disagreeing about this for a while. And I haven't felt like you've been wrong necessarily. My big complaint about this has been that they just keep telling us they don't like each other, telling us they have a great feud, and not showing us. I feel like now they're starting to show us. Now go ahead and say what you disagree with.
My judgment may be unfair because, like I said, before this got started, I was already done with this because of the years and years of history that I've heard about and not seen anything. I'm just ready for them to be done with one another, and I'm not a Sami Zayn guy. You know, he's great in the ring. He's not great on the mic. I'd like to see them go other places to see what they can do with both of them.
Okay. I'm ready for this to come to a head. And I don't need it to be anytime immediately. Although they do have a match scheduled at the pay-per-view, don't they?
Yes.
I would actually kind of prefer a slow build, I think, even if it was something like WrestleMania.
Oh, they've had a slow build.
Okay. You make a good point. Okay, all right, then maybe you're right. I'm still on board with this. I'll say that it doesn't need to be this month for their feud to come to an end. It wouldn't bother me if it was down the line a bit further. And maybe what happens at the pay-per-view will just be furthering it down the line. But I'm still on board with it. I don't have a problem with it yet.
Okay.
What was your take on the Wyatts and New Day? That's the next note I have.
I'm disappointed on two levels. One, because I do think it was a kind of a rip-off of what TNA recently had done.
My overall note was that it felt very Final Deletion-like.
Yes.
And that is not a good thing in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, and then what was your second thought?
I guess I expected more, and I'm hoping that more is to come, but I guess the visit to the compound, I was expecting more out of the confrontation.
This felt way weird to me in bad ways. It did give me that Final Deletion kind of feeling. Now, let me ask you this, and honestly answer. Do you think that it was inspired by Final Deletion or just a coincidence?
I watched the whole Final Deletion thing last week.
I skimmed through
when it came up.
I skimmed through. I can't watch that crap.
I skimmed through the story. I watched the match.
Okay.
And I mean, I got a strong feel that that's directly derived from that.
Really?
From that, yeah.
See, I really feel like, and maybe I'm just being naive here. I just feel like they're not being inspired by TNA pretty much at all.
Okay.
I just almost feel like it's a coincidence, but it is a strong coincidence that I can't say you're wrong. I just feel like that was a coincidence. I don't know. I am not. Are you pro anti Final Deletion? I'm so anti. That's just weird. I want my wrestling to be like somewhat believable, and I don't like it.
Yeah, what I don't like is because I'm not a TNA fan at all, and so I kind of pick up stories here and there. Matt Hardy's getting a lot of praise for what he's doing, and I just can't get past that. I mean, the fake voice, his demeanor, I can't get past that to even enjoy the match. And then that was just a series of stunts, so yeah.
And even when it comes to like the Osprey and Ricochet match, like I'm assuming you're aware of that at least. Mm-hmm. Have you watched it?
I have not watched it.
I haven't watched it in its entirety. I've seen bits and pieces of it as well. There is a very important aspect when something is going to be professional wrestling that it needs to be presented in a believable manner, I feel like.
Yeah.
And both of those things, well, I'm not going to say Final Deletion was like there were certainly a lot of positive things you could say about the Osprey and Ricochet match.
Yeah.
And that was great athleticism. It was really good on a lot of levels. It was a great demonstration of people who are great at their craft. Mm-hmm. I don't consider that a high point for what I like in professional wrestling.
Yeah, okay.
So there's that. That being said, all that applies to the New Day Wyatt thing, which I've been loving so far. I felt like it was very Final Deletion-like. It was a bit too odd. It didn't feel believable or real to me. And again, I know we're talking about professional wrestling where you need to suspend disbelief, but it was too much for me. And it was maybe too soon, or like if that was really going to happen, and that's just not a Raw thing. I don't know how else to put it. That would be a major thing. Like this would maybe be at a pay-per-view, or I don't know. Nothing about that particular segment sat right with me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just disappointing. I mean, maybe they should have built to it. They should have done more to it. They should have had an ending.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It's
something.
You know what? Yeah, I think between the two of us, we got our point across.
It just needed more.
And it may have been on the front side. Like, it may have been we needed to build to this more.
Yeah.
You know, like, maybe that's what it was. But it missed for me. And it's a feud that I'm into. Like, I've loved everything leading up to this.
Yeah.
I loved how Xavier is kind of scared. I just did not like watching the footage last night. And, like, it's not that they were on a remote location. Like, I remember when, Owen Hart and Ken Shamrock would fight in the dungeon. Or, there's been satellite locations before that don't bother me.
Yeah.
Even if it's like the in a parking lot or in a circle of cars with John Cena and Eddie Guerrero, like I can do those locations, or even like a junkyard with WCW. That's not what bothered me. It was just the execution I didn't like. Dana Brooke needs some chill was my next note. She really the only person in like the wrestling history where you can say needs to turn the volume down a bit.
Yeah.
Really needs to just chill out a little bit. She needs some Ritalin before she goes out there or something. Calm down, Dana Brooke. Stop working so hard.
At least until she can find her true self, and then she can dial it up.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
You're very scattered right now.
Yeah, she's the bass going down the street with the shaky boxes and everything that just is annoying.
Yeah, it is. That's a very good way to describe her. I feel like she has kind of a superstar look about her. I get why they want her to be a star, and she may even have star potential. I just haven't seen on any aspect outside of the way she looks anything superstar quality about her.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not a fan of Dana Brooks, but I think one thing to her defense is she was kind of thrown into that storyline because she was meant to be with Emma, and then she came up and Emma got injured.
Well, even still, no matter who she's with, her performance is still what it is.
Yeah, I just don't think she'd be as forefront right now if she was with
okay.
Emma.
Even still, she's not ready for the spot, I feel like, yet.
Yeah.
And then that's all I have up until the final segment.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to address before we get to the final segment?
No, we've covered. I mean, I wanted to make sure we got the Wyatts and New Day covered pretty well. But yeah.
So I found the McMahon trio last night in a word to be unbearable.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
I'm pretty close. It's almost like they tried to surprise us by not surprising us.
Okay. My thought was this angle, and you can go back to the very beginning. The beginning being when Shane returned, ironically in Detroit, which I was thinking about last night before he mentioned it, like because I remember that happening.
Yeah.
And Detroit being so overwhelmingly in favor of him coming back, and appropriately enough, like it was exciting to see him return. I feel like everything since that day has been mishandled involving Shane McMahon and this whole angle. Yeah. Not saying it's Shane's fault. I'm just saying this has been the most insulting angle I've ever been subjected to as a wrestling fan. I just don't like it. And it continues that way now. This fight over SmackDown is stupid. There's no way in their position anyone would be excited to get SmackDown over Raw if this is a real kind of feud. I don't feel like SmackDown would be the point of contendership that they would have.
Well, I think that Shane was excited because I think he thought he was great at
could have both. Yeah. Okay, but maybe you're right about. Maybe I misunderstood that part. You're right. But this angle has become senseless. I also thought that the decision is stupid because, if the whole thing was to find out who's going to be in charge of the shows. Mm-hmm. Why do we then need to appoint general managers underneath of them? This is making no sense to me.
Because it's filler.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
And it's just almost like the angle where it's like, forget all the stuff we did at WrestleMania. It's now like, forget all the stuff we were telling you to forget about that stuff. Like this, because now it's not even going to be either one of them, it seems like. This is so dumb. Yeah. I just hate this particular angle. And I've also come to realize... I can do McMahon's on television one at a time. You got to pick one. When it becomes Vince and Stephanie, it's annoying. When it becomes Vince and Shane, it's annoying. When it becomes Linda and anyone, it's annoying. And now we've got 3 of them in there, and it's just like, oh my God, my head's gonna explode.
Okay, well you should have a glimmer of hope. I mean, I do, because I think by them choosing general managers, maybe this will be a way for them to get McMahon's off TV. On the regular.
Maybe.
I'm hopeful.
But then why have we been dealing with all of this crap about who's going to get control of the show when really none of them? It's just so... Do you understand?
Yeah. I definitely understand.
I'm so passionate about this that I can't explain myself well.
Yeah, but you've explained it exactly. I mean, they think we're stupid.
They do.
And they think we have the attention span of like goldfish.
They think we forget about everything that happened in February, and I haven't.
So, I mean, you've expressed yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
or forget February. They think we forget what's been happening the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just frustrating to me. So they've officially. I'm so out on this draft and this brand extension. Like all the positives that can come from the brand extension, the making new stars, the getting more storylines on there, the whatever advantages that you can think of, I feel like could be done without a brand extension.
Oh yeah.
If you like, you could have SmackDown angles and Raw angles without actually having exclusive wrestlers on exclusive shows. Like, if you want Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to be a SmackDown kind of angle, that's cool. Let that play out on SmackDown.
Exactly.
You know, like, or just have twice as many angles going without this brand extension.
Yeah, or maybe not so many stories, just better stories.
This whole brand extension and this angle in particular has been really left a sour taste in my mouth about wrestling this whole year.
Yeah.
It really had a bad impact on WrestleMania, I feel like, and every show thereafter, it just farted all over it to me. So that's what I thought about the show last night. Anything we missed?
I don't think so.
If you think that we're because we actually it sounds like we agreed a lot this week.
Yeah.
If you feel like we're coming from the wrong place, let us know in the comments. You can also shoot us, leave us a comment on our Facebook, leave us a comment on the video, on the YouTube channel, on the website, whatever. We do appreciate your feedback.
We do.
For myself, the Rob, my tag team partner, Steve.
Too sweet!